go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hopefully everybody can hear me.
We are live.
We are live. I don't know if any of you guys know that that's Nick's actual voice. Like in the videos, you usually hear me dubbing over as a or whatever the case is, but no, that's actually what Nick sounds like.
Yeah, I sound like this, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're just blessed. Anyway, letting people get in here a little bit and see what's going on. We came in a little early. Turn your volume down. What is wrong with you? Like that delay? That friggin' feedback. Okay, so here's one problem that we have that I have to actively work on here, and that is my cameras like to freeze up here. So I have to continuously switch them out, and like you guys are seeing right there, it's, you know, frozen. So anyway, welcome everyone. Welcome. Here we go. We've, long story short, we actually had quite a bit of an issue with our gear this morning, and it looks like things are still freezing up and stuff like that. So it's been a hell of a morning. We'll just put it that way. Anyway, if you see the screen freeze up or whatever, just know that I'm actively working on it, as long as you can still hear me. But there you go. We got like $8,000 worth of cameras, and they're not cooperating. So anyway, this right here on screen is Nick. Of course, this is me and everything else like that. So this is officially the last call for Weld With Me Live. Can you close that door, Nick?
I can.
Please. Thank you. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the microphones and stuff like that, but it's actually ridiculously loud. Oh, dear. Well, don't you just love this? Anyway, the crew is going absolutely bonkers out there right now. Whoa, volume's gone. Whatever. Yeah. Oh, it's all good now. Okay, well, sweet. Anyway, the crew is going nuts right now, getting all these last orders out and everything else like that. So, oh man, my microphones are all switching around. Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep it on this right here because I know that this is actually working. So screw it. You guys can have this view instead of all the switched out awesome views. Nevertheless, welcome. We've been fiddling with all of this stuff all morning long and can't quite seem to get it right. So as long as we're good now, or is it? Okay, camera on top sounds good, but the others don't. Cool, we got this fixed. This camera angle is going to stay exactly the way.
All right.
What a disaster. Okay, let me get back on the track here. Comments are up and everything else like that. We're going to answer some questions you guys might have, yeah, we'll go from there. So, okay, yeah, all right. We got the camera thing already situated. Okay, cool. So, any questions you guys have about Weld With Me Live? If you're not familiar with it, Weld With Me Live is a live stream, hopefully a lot better than this one. That's we're going to teach you guys how to actually weld on camera. I'll be in front of the camera, obviously giving the lesson. Nick is actually going to be behind the camera, doing the comments thing, controlling the cameras, provided that we actually figure this out. But either way, the whole point of this is to teach you guys or bring a TFS class to you, like literally live, that you can participate in and you can get some feedback on your welds, like as it's actually happening. So you can participate, you can work along with it, you can do just about anything that you wanted to do to learn how to weld completely free. So as I mentioned earlier, it was last call. And that basically means if you don't order your coupons now, if you're going to order from Weld Metals online, you need to get on it like right now because I mean, the guys are working like overtimes authorized, double times authorized. It's everybody's just going nuts back there, including myself. I mean, I was working late last night, the whole work, so we're making sure that everything's going. So does anybody have any questions about welding or about Weld With Me Live or anything else like that? I do plan to put up a video or put one together that's going to show you some other things you can watch and get yourself set up. You should have already hopefully seen the what is it, that 45-minute video or 43-minute video I just put out there. So hopefully you guys have seen that one. We got people from all over the world. I did see Neil Jordan from the UK, which is really awesome. South Africa, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I will try to smile, but my other camera is not working, or the audio is.
Yes, we are reading the comments.
Yeah. Can you DC TIG with car batteries? It's possible. I plan to try it one of these days. So, hey, more from the UK. Sweet. Yeah, as far as shipping to the UK, I mean, you can get a quote if you email sales@weldmetals.online. You can actually get a quote to it. Sometimes it's a little bit cheaper. Sometimes we have less expensive options and stuff like that. But unfortunately, that's that department, not necessarily my department. So our staff over there will be able to handle that. Sometimes we can get it cheaper. But there's no way you're going to get it in time unless you do pay an absolute friggin' fortune by now. New Zealand, welcome. All right. Nick, you see anything? Hey, BC, Canada. All right. Scotland, geez, Sweden, Australia, Florida.
Dale's looking for a list of materials for following along with the class.
Okay, what you effectively need is some 1/8" aluminum and some 1/16 aluminum, or what is that, 3 millimeter and 1.5 mil. That's pretty much all you need. We're going to have 2 different sizes of filler that we use at the same time, which is going to be 1/16 filler, or what is it, 1.5, 1.6 mil, and then 3/32, which is 2.4 mil. So that's pretty much all you need. You need some tungsten. You need, a few other things as well. Just, your basic essentials, consumables, et cetera, et cetera. Wasn't there, what was that one question right there in the what was it? Wait, was it the
All at the beginning.
Yeah, it was like something about a torch?
A little bit further down.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is an interesting question. It says, sometimes I feel like I'm working or I'm working with a cutting torch when you do TIG. Now, if you're still on here, the Nova 54, I'd really like to know what exactly you mean, because I'm not really sure. New Mexico, Ontario, Canada. Let's see. All right, you can get materials wherever you want. Totally cool. India, more South Africa. Let's see, where there'll be shows with only DC-only machines. Yes, we will have DC-only classes right now, but obviously the biggest request is for aluminum. So that's what we're gonna start with, at least. Provided that this goes good and it doesn't have a total meltdown like not work at all.
Should be all right.
I can't even begin to describe to you guys. Like we have been just banging away at this. Nick's on practically no sleep at all. I'm a little bit behind on my sleep count. I look like crap, but came in this morning, got this whole thing all set up, and half the stuff's not working right now, despite the 6,000 tests that we already did. So anyway. Let's see. Transsteel 2200 to TIG aluminum. It does not. You need AC typically to TIG aluminum. I know that there's like a billion different, hacks and, use helium and all this other crud, but no, you need AC to weld helium.
So he forgot to turn on the gas.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. I get a lot of calls like that. Who looks like your dad, but more daddier?
That would be my boy.
Oh, that would be your boy. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah. Too bad he doesn't sound like a man. My name is Nick. Oh, wait. You know what? I got a button for jokes. That is the Burton C. Bell. There's a dad joke for you. Liters per minute as well as CFH. If I knew the conversion inside of my head, I could easily cover it. But you effectively... Well, hopefully you can do that. Got to do some of the work here. Sorry, I don't want to sound like an a-hole or anything, but imperial is like my language. Looks, okay, welding chromoly, and it looks very grainy in color or no color at about 90 amps. Well, it all depends on how thick it is, how fast you're moving, your gas coverage, et cetera, et cetera. Remember, at the end of the day, I wish I could click this camera over right now, but I can't do it. But at the end of the day, no matter what, remember that heat is from time, and heat is discoloring all your stuff. So it's basically too hot when it escapes gas coverage. It basically means you didn't either run fast enough or you just flat out don't have enough gas coverage. But that isn't, the answer is not just to crank up the gas. The answer is learn how to weld effectively. Wow. You want me to ban this kid?
You can kick him out now.
Yeah? Where's my ban button? Hide user. Gone. I specifically said this was not made for kids. Anyway. Have I tried a Synchrowave 200? Yeah, I mean, way back in the day. I mean, we used to weld with Synchrowaves all the time. I don't really care for them these days, but, you know, there are more betterer things. Oh, we got more comments. Oh, here we go.
A lot of them.
Okay, liter per hour equals CFH times 30. Well, if you do quick math in your head, well, if it's CFH times 30, then you need 30 friggin' LPH to weld aluminum at minimum. Right, because we go 10 to 15 on the CFH out of a number 5 standard cup. Actually, Nick brought this up the other day. Why do you use not a number 5 standard cup?
I use the number 4 cup because I keep a gas lens on my torch. So instead of switching to the standard collet and the standard cup, I just swap the cup.
That's dumb.
It works. No. It's more efficient.
Nope.
Less parts I have to have.
Hey, greetings from Japan. Oh yeah, lots of shout outs. Thank you guys. You know, like I said, we've been working our butts off trying to get this thing to happen. I've been literally trying for over a year to find a way to bring live welding classes to the masses. And provided that this goes well and we can figure out all of this stinking equipment, then we should be doing some really awesome things for you guys, hopefully very, very soon. And maybe better than having just one camera angle that's not friggin' working right.
Yes, if you go faster, typically you put in less heat than running slower with lower amperages in general, if you do it right.
Yeah, but remember that your speed is ultimately limited to how fast you can accurately add filler wire. So, I mean, there's ways to cheat it. Like, there's 2 kinds of welders in this world. I'm going to talk to this camera right up here. Anyway, there's 2 kinds of welders in this world. That would be 4. 2 kinds of welders in this world. They are the hot and heavy and the low and slow. And what that effectively means is if you're hot and heavy, your amps are jacked way up, your speed is super high, and your torch height is ridiculously tight. It's all under control, and you just fly through it because the faster you get in and out of it, the less heat that builds up. Amps has nothing to do with it. Amps is compensatory for speed. So if you have high amps, you got to have high speed. If you have low amps, you're going to have low speed, but more heat is going to be generated. If that makes any sense. I've got lots of videos about that. The TIG setup video, the stainless video, a handful of other ones. It demonstrates it. How many coupons will you need? Well, we're going to blast through, probably maybe 15 to 20 of them, maybe more. I'm trying to leave you guys with some extra stuff to weld afterwards. But to show you a few different drills and stuff like that. How many years have I been welding? About 20-ish. I don't know. Nick just learned how to do it yesterday.
No, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
That's right. Or every time we have a class, Nick just learned how to weld. And he's the lead instructor. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, Nick is actually the lead instructor.
So Rob's got a good question. I bet we know the answer to that one.
Rob's Garage?
So if your welder welds like crap when the fan's cut on, you're probably pointing your welder at your welds, and the fan is blowing your gas away. Try moving your welder away from your table.
Yeah, put the machine like on the floor or something like that. So that's a huge thing. People call me all the time, or I get an email and they're like, yeah, every time I go to weld, it just, goes to shit. Or, sorry, it goes to crap. I don't have a bleep button.
We'll do it live!
But anyway, yeah, if there's anything that blows your gas away or disturbs it, it's gonna run like crap. We've got lots of different comments here.
I still have my AHP 200. I still use it occasionally, but I'm usually here, so I'm using something different.
I've got a few of them, but I've got 40 some odd machines still. So,
yes, you can use the gas lens with when you're welding aluminum. You just got to use a smaller cup. You don't want to use one of the big cups, like the 10s, 12s, 16s. Those are way too big.
This question about the 8.8 center housing. I use 309 stainless to weld that. Opinion on the Arc Zone Monster Cups. I'm not a big fan of them. I had a few of them, and it just didn't seem to give me the coverage I needed, but I know a lot of other people swear by them, so I usually use Furix just because I know where to set it at and what to use with it. Basic rules of thumb for gas flow per cup size. So take the number of the cup, which is going to be, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the case is, double it or multiply by 2.2 or somewhere in that range. That should be your minimum flow. So if you have a 12, set it to 24. That's your minimum flow. Maximum flow is if you see the weld starting to get all crappy on you and start blowing away and doing all kinds of other crazy stuff, then you gotta adjust. You gotta turn it down. There is a such thing as too much gas flow. And actually, I've got a video about that one too. All right, for you guys that are ordering and stuff like that, thank you so much. Of course, I got to give a huge shout out to our crew. Most of you guys think that it's just me out here, but it's not. There's 9 of us right now. We did lose one guy recently. There's 9 people that work their butts off here, and we couldn't do it without them. So. Any of you guys want to be like, shout out to the crew if they're watching this or seeing it later or whatever the case is, please show them your appreciation.
So Larry Moore has a good question. What causes his tungsten to splinter when he's welding? He uses 2% lanthanated and serrated.
Great. It depends on how you prep it. It's probably splitting because you maybe broke it instead of cutting it. And that's it's pretty common with the serrated stuff. Usually when you get into higher amps, but yeah, higher amps and everything else like that, usually it'll tend to split it. Or if people snap it or they try to cut it or break it or whatever the case is, and 9 times out of 10 that causes a split, and then you try to chase it out and then it splits again because it just that whole fracture right there, it's almost endless. Throw it away and get another piece.
Got Dre's asking,
tungsten.
What's the toughest material you have welded?
Probably some cast stuff. When it doesn't want to cooperate.
Cast and brass. Brass is
yeah.
Interesting. It's messy.
Dude.
It's violent.
Yeah. What is it? The zinc that's inside of it outgasses at about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So when it outgasses, it literally goes poof and blows up on you. And of course, it smells really bad if you're not wearing a respirator, which you should be. But it's brass sucks. I don't really like it.
All right. So Zach is asking for recommendations on pulse TIG welding 18 gauge steel and aluminum.
I rarely ever pulse. That's my recommendation. Nick?
I'm still reading these questions. There's so many.
Well, you don't pulse much either.
I don't pulse at all.
Well, you know what? I can tell the story while you're digging up another comment here. The only time that I actually pulse is when I'm intentionally when I'm intentionally welding out of position. So as I mentioned before, several times, time or heat equals time, not amps or anything else like that. So when I'm welding, let's say a chromoly tube chassis, for example, which is very heat sensitive metal, and you want the whole thing to be relatively the same as far as heat input. So basically not a hot side and a cold side on the opposite, because then it won't, it won't work right. It won't be structurally sound. So what I typically do is weld when I'm in position, I turn the pulser on. When I'm out of position, I turn the pulser off. So that way I can match my speed, and then the joint would theoretically be the same all the way around. So in other words, I turn the pulser on to intentionally slow me down. And it's usually very, very high pulse, like 200 plus pulses per second or so.
Yeah. I bought my machine because it had pulse on it, and then I don't use it. It typically makes the metal hot and the weld cold, so I kind of avoid it for the most part.
No. Or no, we turn the magic wave on when we want to play like Van Halen. It does like 10,000 pulses per second. So when we're farting around in the class, we'll just sit there and just you can adjust it while you're welding. It's crazy.
Actually, I got another one. What is the youngest person you've ever seen weld?
I don't know how old that kid was the other day.
Yeah, I think it was like 9.
Yeah, he might have been like 9 or 10 or something like that. My kids, my youngest, I think he was like 7 when he welded his first welds. I think he was like 6 or 7. Can you weld with jumper cables, a generator, and coins like MacGyver? I don't know. I could try.
What is the proper way to sharpen your tungsten?
Pointy.
Pointy with your grind marks going towards the tip.
Yeah, you want them in line effectively. Now, here's the thing. If you're just practicing, make the sucker sharp, because you're probably going to screw it up in like 2 seconds anyway. Now, if you're going for practical application, yes, you want a very good profile. and a specific angle. And really, at the end of the day, the angles, they do make a difference, but one of those two is not going to make or break a weld. So that's the biggest thing that I have the hardest time trying to get people to understand, is that it doesn't matter. It's not one thing that you can fix. It's not one thing that you can just change in TIG welding that's going to make your weld happen. So,
Is there a tungsten more suited for aluminum?
Yeah.
Laser, CK laser.
Yeah, laser. Here's another one. I can run on a tangent on this one, right? Because this is the never-ending battle. In MIG welding, the never-ending battle is push versus pull. It doesn't friggin' matter. I mean, unless you have a job that says it does. However, in TIG welding, the never-ending battle is which color tungsten you use. And I guarantee you there is no tungsten that's going to make or break a weld. It doesn't exist. However, it does make a difference when you're working on specific machines and specific applications with specific metals. But for everything, I used to like purple, I used to use blue and all the rest of stuff. Once I discovered laser, I don't use anything else. We use it for every single metal that we have here. And it welds it all on any friggin' machine. So, and mostly every single size that I use is 3/32.
Yeah, I sharpen a lot of tungsten every day, and
it's a bit of a gross understatement.
Yeah, but the laser stuff tends to last a little bit longer than all the other stuff we used to use. It sharpens a little bit better. That's the only thing I like using now.
Yeah, that's all I use. Let me see what else we got here.
Yeah, someone asking about getting into jobs after learning how to weld, and trade unions specifically. So I was in a trade union for a little while, and when you're working, it's great. When you're not working, it can suck. But it's great work. I love doing it. You get a lot of cool opportunities, like building stuff on the Las Vegas Strip or all over the world.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were on a run. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go find another comment while you start talking.
Let's see here. Grade 2 argon or grade 1 argon? Laboratory grade.
Oh, geez, you don't need to get that far into it.
Yeah, I don't even.
I'm scrolling through some of these comments here. Let me see if I can. Oh, I see where that one is. Yeah. Oh, and thank you, everyone, for all the big shout-outs for the crew. I really hope that they see it and they know it. Like I said, God, these guys are good. They're friggin' awesome. Everybody helps support it. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I am dead set on trying to get more people into the welding industry, whether it's just for hobby or whatever the case is. Like, to give you an example, you can actually see this one. This is just a little stand that Nick built for his phone, right? Because he knows how to weld. And there's a couple of these sitting in the break room, so the guys, they get in there and they get to actually do stuff or whatever. You don't have to be a professional welder to make that. You can just literally grab some scraps and have some fun with it. That's hobby welding, right? And if that's what you want to do, that's freaking awesome. So
yeah, we get people that are artists, so they want to build sculptures, people that just wanted to build one project, people that want to go to work every day and weld. We get kind of everything.
Yeah. We get professionals. We've had, well, I can't talk about all of them, but we've had pretty much, well, we've had a few different jurisdictions of law enforcement that come in here. From everything from federal to local to corrections to, everything. There's very specific areas that you can get into. I mean, it's not just running out on the pipeline and setting yourself up with an awesome rig or, being a structural guy or anything else like that. You're not limited to being stuck in a fab shop cubicle, right? There are so many different areas that you can get into that involve welding. And I mean, it's so awesome.
It's like Jimmy got the Optrail Crystal 2.0 and it makes a huge difference.
Jimmy.
Yeah, having a really good hood is probably the best thing you can do for your welding. You can see a lot better. You're comfortable. You're safer. I always say spend the most money you can on getting a good quality hood.
Yeah, I mean, I know that everybody's budgets, like, they don't always permit buying a $400 and some odd dollar hood. But here's the thing: you should get something that's not a cheapo. Look, there are made up brands that you can literally. I can get on even my phone right now, and I can get onto Alibaba and have them plaster my decal or my logo on the shittiest piece of eyewear hood. I mean, junk like this. I mean, I can literally get this made for $20, and I can have my brand on it, and I can literally start selling it for like, several $100 and being like, this thing is legit. Hire some people on YouTube to review it and then blast the Amazon reviews and say, oh, this is high quality, da 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 da. But it's a piece of junk. Like, if you don't know, a brand or anything else like that, then you gotta be careful. Like, I got two. You can't see them; they're out of frame. I got two friggin' what are those Harbor Freight ones?
The Vulcans, the high dollar ones.
The high dollar Vulcans. I got two of them sitting down there that are broken.
They did not last 3 hours.
I thought they made at least 5.
We put fresh batteries in them, and they were hurting our eyes and flashing constantly.
Yeah.
They just didn't work.
You gotta think about it. I mean, how long do you want to see? It only takes one screw up, or how many times getting flashed in the eyes, and everybody's different, But staring down 50, 60, 70 amps or even more, when the thing lightens up on you, I mean, you feel that in your soul. So
yeah, there's also UV light coming off of that arc. If you don't have a good UV coating on your hood, it's going to damage your eyes.
The time it takes to actually lighten and darken, I mean, that stuff will screw you up. So, it's you just don't mess around with that. So stick with names like name brands: Lincoln, Miller, ESAB, Optrel. Obviously, my personal favorite. There's 3M, there's Speedglass, there's Jackson. If it's not one of those, don't buy it. I don't care how good of a value or bargain it is. It's crap. I could literally get a Yes Welder from the same factory. I can go to where Yes Welder gets theirs, and I can call it No Welder or Blind Welder, and it'd be the exact same thing. And I can sell it for less money or more money, or do whatever I want, and it's still going to be the same piece of junk.
All right. So Greg Kernick asks, what size torch do you recommend?
Whatever fits your hand.
Yep.
Literally,
I jump back and forth between the 9, 20, and 17 all day long, and if I'm not thinking about it, I don't even really notice the difference. I still make the same weld with all of them.
Yeah. What's the 26? I rarely ever use that, unless it's a trim line 26 that has a smaller handle on it. Let's see. What is here's one from a little earlier. What is laser tungsten? LAYZR is a blended tungsten hybrid, awesome anti-radioactive, like bulletproof, amazing tungsten from CK Worldwide. The color is chartreuse.
It is not green.
It's not green. It looks green. It's like a lime green, but the color is officially chartreuse, but they call it laser.
Yeah, if you ask for green tungsten, they're going to give you pure tungsten, which is not the same thing, and it doesn't work in most modern machines.
Yeah, definitely not. Have you ever had a welding showgirl? No. Have you had a welding showgirl?
I have not. My wife would be very mad.
I'm pretty sure mine would be upset too. Never even thought about that. Well, I mean, how would you do a welding showgirl? Like, or how would you can't be like in a bikini or something, or one of them,
Need some SPF
dresses,
1000.
Yeah, like 2 billion sunblock. Okay, Jackson helmets are good. Eastwood is made up shit. Literally, go on Alibaba right now or after this stream. Go on Alibaba and Google welding helmet. Every single one of those that you see looks like all the cheap ones. And when you see that, you're like, uh-oh. And you realize that they're only like $20 and you spent like $150 on it.
I'd go with a reputable brand like Miller, Lincoln, ESAB, Jackson, Optro, obviously. Stuff like that. The reputable stuff.
Yeah. Can you weld the similar alloys like 6061 to 5052? People do it all the time. It depends on the application. Like, there's nothing literally limiting you. So, yeah.
And someone asking, when did we last burn our eyes with the arc? Me, never.
I did.
I always have a good hood on.
A few nights ago, I'm trying to remember what we were doing. We had a class in here, and I think it was the one where we had Metro in here. There was a handful of times where I ended up catching the arc, and of course I was running the MIG all day, and I didn't turn the shade lower
or
darker. So yeah. Oh, how do you feel about structural iron workers welding off the side of a building hanging by their balls? Well, I would hope that they don't feel a lot of pain.
Another good question. He has a hood that doesn't darken sometimes. Good thing is you can turn the sensitivity up a little bit. You might be running lower amperages, or you might not be putting out enough light for your trigger to trigger your hood. Turn the sensitivity up a little bit and check your batteries as well. That's what I would recommend.
And if you know it's a piece of junk, throw it away and get something that's not a piece of junk, unless you want to potentially go brine. Hey, here's a good one for you, Nick. Your favorite pizza and adult beverage.
So my favorite adult beverage is water.
I can never get this guy to have a beer with me.
Yeah, I don't drink. Pizza is the ones I used to make when I worked at Domino's a long time ago. I would take thin crust, barbecue sauce, chicken, and whole bunches of cheese.
What the hell are you doing to a pizza?
Making it really delicious.
Hey, from Russia. Thank you. Funny enough, I was listening to a lot of Slaughter to Prevail last night. That dude's got a voice. Anyway, yes, welder's flash sucks, but yeah. How do you cut your tungsten? I use a cutoff wheel. You can use a diamond wheel. You can use a abrasive cutoff wheel. I mean, anything that actually cuts the tungsten all the way through. You don't want to snap it. You don't want to break it. Oh, and just FYI, anybody who ever asked those stupid friggin' welding glasses, I still have them and they still don't work. Let's see.
A lot of questions on cutting tungsten.
Yeah, can you further elaborate?
So what you can do is take a like a cutoff wheel. That's what I usually use, and you stick it on a plate and just kind of cut it.
You can
cut it all the way through there
it if you want. I mean, as long as it goes all the way through. We literally just use like a little zip disc or cutoff wheel on a grinder, and it just cuts it right out. Now, I mean, it's not going to go through it like super fast or anything else like that. It's just
I would wear gloves too because it gets really hot. Really fast.
Tungsten is actually, I think it's like super compressed powder is how it comes out before it gets ground down, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, my favorite pizza, by the way, is pepperoni, and I enjoy, I usually drink Heineken, but my favorite beer, adult beverage, is Grolsch. And second to that is Flying Horse, which is an Indian lager. But I can't get all those all the time, so I usually drink Heineken. Okay, more stuff here. We got actually a lot more people than I really expected here. So, not allowed in our class. Okay, there are a lot of helmets that are not allowed in our classes. Anything from Harbor Freight. Now, anything from anything from Harbor Freight out the door.
Yes, welder.
Yes, welder's not allowed here. I used to allow it, but then they started malfunctioning like crazy, and I'm like, nope, that's out. Not to mention, I can go buy the same thing right now directly from the manufacturer in China and call it anything I want. Anything on Amazon? Something I know. You've got like a half naked cowboy on a welding helmet.
It says love, and I needed it for one weld. I needed it last minute. Amazon was the only one that could get it to me the next day. And I used it once and threw it away.
I think you showed up here one day with that.
I didn't use it, but I had to show you that. It was awful.
Yeah, it was terrible. So, I mean, literally anything that is not a name brand, like the name brands that we all know from reputable welding companies, like I mentioned before, Miller, Lincoln, ESAB, Optrel, again, being my favorite, 3M, Speedglass. Why am I forgetting one? The one with the yellow friggin'
Jackson?
Well, Jackson's one, but it's not that one. Maybe that one is the Speed Glass. But like I said, reputable welding companies, 3M and all the rest of them. If it's an actual company, not a made-up brand that just got into existence on Amazon or has a cool website or everything that's cheap. I mean, if you say that's a good bargain, you bought a piece of shit. I don't have any other nice way of saying it. I'm very sorry if you guys feel like I'm a real stickler on this, but I don't like going blind. And literally, companies send me just all this stuff. Like, I mean, I got stacks of hoods over here. I've got broken junky welders up in my friggin' loft. I got for absolutely nothing. And they're hoping it's going to appear on my channel, and I'm like, yo, look, I can give it back to you, or it's going to sit here. I'm not even going to give it to anybody else. Like, this stuff is dangerous. And I got so much of it. Like, it's just, no, it's garbage. You'll have to take it from me, but I'm not going to get on there and just like say, oh, here's all the crappy stuff or whatever, and make a video about it. Because that's, aside from the fact that that's rude, that doesn't do anything for, me in my profession, if you will, to go out there and slander a bunch of stuff. But if you ask me flat out, yeah, it's a piece of crap.
All right, so Jim Somers is asking about laser tungsten. No, we're not talking about a laser welding machine. The tungsten is actually called laser. It's got 3 different things in it, and that they kind of combined the names and made it laser.
Can you
and
hear
it's green. And I'm gonna go grab
Yeah,
a
just
pack
go
right
grab
now.
a pack of that. Okay, Sentinel 850 is a best investment. Yes, that is a good hood. Here's the thing. I used to say it was rough, but I know that ESAB was extremely fast to correct it. It was in the very beginning where they would just lighten back up. But other than that, it is a fantastic hood. And yeah, it's worth the dollars. It's very comfortable. I really like it. So let's see. Add meat to a vegetarian pizza. Okay.
All right, so here is the CK Laser Tungsten.
Yeah, the lighting here. Okay. So literally the color is chartreuse. It is it's like a lime green. And yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's a
This is
chartreuse
the crappy
green.
camera. Wait, I got an idea. I bet you it's frozen. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Wait. The audio is going to suck here in a second. Just fair warning. See, I'm frozen. There. Button. That is laser tungsten from CK Worldwide. Let's see. Cast iron TIG rod. I don't mess around with a whole lot of cast iron. Viking 3350 is junk from Lincoln by Jackson. Or if you die hard darkening, that's 3M or similar. You know what? I've got a Viking. I think it's the 4C. Is it the 4C?
It is a 3350 4C.
Okay. And it's hit or miss. It doesn't work well on low
No.
amps.
You have the 3C.
I have a 3C. Okay. Well, it's like I said. I mean, the clarity is good on it. It's very green, but big window and stuff. But it's on low amps. That sucker just lightens up all the time. So unless you're like dead nuts, like right in front of the friggin', right in front of the whatchamacallit, right in front of the sensors. Do I still like the AHP? I mean, it's good, but the Prime Weld's better.
Yes. When my HP dies, I'm buying the Prime Weld.
You should buy a Fronius instead.
Well, I can just go use yours.
That's it. Exposing to TIG plasma caused to cancer. Well, I mean, everything causes cancer. Do you live in California? You've got cancer. I'm just kidding. But yeah, there are several cautions and things you need to, consider about this, UV exposures, all kinds of other stuff, the metals that are melting off. I mean, everything from like radioactive and all the rest of stuff. It's crazy. Is the Snap-on helmet any good? No, that is a piece of shit. That is like the most Chinese friggin' helmet sold for the most amount of money ever.
No, we put new batteries in it and tried it, and it was just awful.
Oh God, that thing is just, yeah. And you can get on Alibaba right now and search for Snap-on helmet, and guess what's going to show up?
So this guy wants to know, what was your first side welding gig?
Mine? Mm-hmm. You know what? I was a mechanic, and it was like my first business, if you will. And it wasn't that I was just welding whatever. I mean, all I had was like a wire feed. And, sometimes people would come in and they wanted, like, at the time it was like shaved doors and tailgates and mini truck stuff or whatever the case is. So that was my first, welding side hustle, I guess you could say. But
my first thing I got paid for was building this giant rock sifter for a front loader that I had to TIG weld together. And it took me about 40 hours of welding.
Oh, I remember that.
It was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of work. I wish I would have had a MIG welder for that.
Or stick or anything, man. Jeez. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I don't know why the hell you had done that. I'm going to TIG weld a giant friggin' sifter.
Well, I didn't have a MIG welder.
You had a stick welder. And I know you can whip some 6011.
I can, but I don't like it.
Yeah, well. 2.4 or 3.2 millimeter TIG electrodes. I tend to run 2.4 because it welds everything from razor blades to like 6 millimeter aluminum. You can use 3.2. It'll do the same thing. Usually a 2.4 mil, or at least laser, I can get it to hold pretty steady at about 220 to 240 amps on AC. It's not rated for that by any means, but it still holds itself together while the other ones kind of blow apart.
So what do you think about the filtered air helmets that blow fresh air into your helmet?
Oh, PAPR. Yeah, those things are dope.
I'm considering getting one for my Optrol.
Yeah, well, you get every other accessory for it, so he even has the little.
I got the cheater lens for it.
Yeah.
I got the backpack for it.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. Every time I try to weld, like with his, it's like
Yeah, you do have to move your eyes around a little bit, but once you get used to it, you can see so much better.
More betterer.
Much more better.
There you go. The bowler helmet. I have no idea. It depends on who makes it. Like I said, there's a million helmets out there, and I have no idea. Best air dryer for plasma. I know that the one that's on my Fast Cut is absolutely phenom. I can't remember the name of it. It came with it, though. You could contact Fast Cut. They might actually sell you one. Funny enough, Nick and I are actually wearing Fast Cut shirts unbeknownst to us in the morning when we decided to get dressed. I just noticed it before we started the stream.
So there is a place where you could park a tractor trailer. I don't know if it's legal or not, but there's a lot of trailers that park in front of the shop on the street.
Oh, yeah, you can park there.
How much did you pay for a helmet? I would say anything above like about $150 you should be okay, but
the Miller Classics that we use in the class for anybody that doesn't have a hood, those things were like $110. I mean, and it's an auto dark. I mean, it's not bad. Mm-hmm. It works.
It does the job.
Yeah. I mean, it's the clarity on it's not like, Optrel amazing, but I mean, it's also not crap, and it's an auto dark, and you can trust it, and they work quite well. So that's $100 hood. But here's the thing, like I mentioned before, there's cheapo Chinese hoods or made up brands that sell for $100 and some odd that are pieces of crap, and it's to make you think that it's quality because it has a high price tag on it. So don't be fooled by that. Stick with name brands.
Tyler's asking about the Prime Weld. Yes, it is still doing good. We use it pretty much every single class, and it stays on 8 to 10 hours a day, and we've had zero issues with it at all.
Shout out to Matt Keller, former student. 3 days with us. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Have I ever almost burnt the building down? Not mine, but others.
One of the first things I did with you, I almost caught the car on fire. There was a rag that I didn't know about.
Oh.
And it almost caught fire.
Oh, hey. I'm sorry if this is Bordeaux Fab. I'm sorry if I get your name wrong. Thank you very much for your super chat. Here's a Burton C. Bell. The Burton C. Bell of approval. Thank you very, very much. Best sub $1,000 bandsaw. It is not from Harbor Freight.
I had 2 of those, and they were garbage.
Yeah, I remember you had a video of you just like, didn't you like bash it or smash it or something?
No, like I started to put it together, and it fell apart.
Oh, I couldn't remember. Anyway, you know what? The everything is just crazy when you consider like every other brand that just showed up and started making stuff and putting their name on it, and but nevertheless, Jet still has some relatively inexpensive good starter bandsaws. Bailey's got a couple. All of those are imported. I know that there was a Bolton. Michael Bolton tools. But, I mean, those are still in that same category of cheap, but, kind of affordable. You're going to get a better quality saw when you start getting into, like, the $1,500 range or so. It's still going to be an imported saw, maybe kind of on the cheap side, but then you start getting good options like taller blades, larger cutting throats or envelopes. And, like auto feed, multiple speeds, cooling. You definitely want cooling if you're doing stainless.
You could also consider looking for a good used one that would be a little cheaper.
Yeah. My Kama, Kama, is how it's spelled. I don't know if it's Kama or Kama or Kuma or whatever.
Kama Chameleon.
That saw I bought used. They're brand new at like $3,000 some odd, and coincidentally they emailed me the other day. But either way.
So you should get a new one and give me your old one.
ADD moment. But yeah, they're, that's like a $3,500 saw, and it's absolutely amazing. But I bought it used with like a mill and a what was it? The belt sander, the belt and disc sander, like that big 3-phase one. I bought all of those for like $3,000 from a machine shop that was going down. So consider getting a used saw if you want good quality.
We've abused that thing, and it still works perfectly.
I think it's falling apart sometimes too, and it's just we have just smashed the hell out of that thing.
All right, so that $100 helmet was the Miller Classic.
Yeah, that is. It's a small viewing window. It just says Classic on the front of it. It's made by Miller.
All right, so I have been shocked while welding. Typically what happens is you got your foot on the pedal and you start moving around a little bit too much and you kind of arc out through something, or maybe you're a little too close to the ground and you're coming off and it'll arc through you a little bit.
The other day when I was doing the that 45-minute video, that was when I was doing the Q-tip like intentionally, I got shocked both times I did that. You feel it. You definitely feel it.
I have not personally heard of anybody being killed TIG welding. I'm sure it's possible. So I'm
sure it's happened.
I'd say don't take your machine apart with it plugged in.
Well, yeah. Actually, if you do that and on inverter machines, there's
capacitors.
Yeah, like the capacitors and the open circuits are in the area of like 400 and some odd volts. So yeah, don't take your machine apart while it's on if you don't know what you're doing. Let's see. My TIG inverter is only 70 hertz. Is that not good enough for aluminum? Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Is that your AC frequency that's not adjustable, or what is that? If you can elaborate, but if it's, 70 hertz or whatever just for your AC frequency, then that's fine. It'll do. It'll work. Just got to move quick. Let's see.
All right, so how in demand do you think the welding trade is?
Huge. Right now it's massive. People are looking for welders everywhere, and it's man, I wish I could say that there was one industry, but it's every portion of the industry that is looking for welders.
Our student yesterday was he owns a shop, and he took the class so he could weld because he could not get a welder to come because they're just so busy everywhere.
Yeah. And actually, I'm getting kind of backed up in some of my work here, too. The people have dropped off jobs and other repairs and stuff like that, I've been so busy that I haven't been able to even get to them. So, normally it would be like a couple days of repairs turned into a couple of weeks. It's either way. Yes, on the frequency, it is unchangeable. Well, you work with what you got. Remember, once upon a time, we only had, like 60 hertz here in, North America, and we didn't have anything else. We didn't even have balance control. We just had straight up whatever came out of the wall. And that was, we could weld anything with that. If you ever go through my class, you'll go through the history of TIG welding as part of my spiel, as Nick calls it.
So the Eastwood TIG welders.
I still haven't been able to make one of those, two of them weld the exact same.
Yeah, for the same money, you can get something better like the Prime Weld.
I would get the Prime Weld. A lot of people ask why I recommend the Prime Weld. One, you get all the amps. You don't get knockoff BS inside of it. Like, that's a real CK torch, not a CK copy with a different name on it. That's like the exact same as the other crappy stuff. You get everything is all up to par, and their customer service, they just flat out don't F around. So they're on point, and it's, for all things considered, it's just a better machine. It gives you everything.
What about portable bandsaws? Well, I have the Harbor Freight portable bandsaw, the Braun one. I've used it twice and it worked. I don't know about longevity, but I've used the DeWalt ones when I was back in the Union, and we used them all the time. Those were really good, and they'll do everything you want it to do.
Mid-range bender for 48 millimeter galvanized pipe, etc. There's not really a mid-range. There's decent. I mean, you gotta decide what your budget is. I mean, what were the GD squares? They were like 800 and something by the time we got them all equipped.
$830 shipped with one die.
Yeah,
and I got the full 180 degree die.
Stand for it and everything else like that. But
no, I bought the stand too.
You bought the stand too. Mm-hmm.
Oh. So it was $830 shipped with the stand, one 180 degree die.
Yeah. So I mean, you can go anywhere between like 800 and north of 1,000. Anything else that's less, don't buy the pipe bender that throws it up in the middle and kinks the crap out of it. Don't fall for that.
Being a MIG welder, how hard is it to swap the TIG?
That's a dirty word. That's a dirty, dirty, dirty word. MIG.
Most of my MIG welding students, when they're coming in for TIG, the number one thing they typically do is they want to pull that torch away instantly as soon as they're done, and they want to kind of keep lifting up as they go, and that's the opposite of what you want to do with TIG. With TIG, you want to keep that torch in place especially after you're done welding, you're letting that post slow run, and the MIG welders just typically don't do that.
We also don't do swirls, cursive
Yeah.
E's, zigzags, back steps, stacks, or anything else like that. We don't do any of that crap.
They also tend to go really fast, which they outrun their own skill.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, it's tricky. Just because literally your discipline, your habits, your everything else like that are exactly the opposite of when you go from like MIG to TIG.
I guess guy asking a couple times about cup size and
Cup
metal
size.
thickness and all this stuff.
Okay. Well, before that, let's take a quick commercial break. No, I'm just kidding. This is still officially the last call for Weld Metals on or for ordering anything from Weld Metals Online. If you're going to join us for Weld with Me Live this coming Sunday, which we're going to be doing the free class, because obviously the stream went way longer. But yeah, if you're doing the free class with us called Weld with Me Live this Sunday, today is positively your very last call to order anything from Weld Metals Online, and hopefully it'll get there in time still. But you got to order like now. Like really now. I know there's still a few orders that were a little behind because we couldn't get the material in time, but we've got it, and man, the crew is working their ass off. So once again, this is your last call for Weld with Me Live to get your aluminum if you were going to get it from Weld Metals Online. So I will have, you got to get the aluminum TIG starter kit from Weld Metals Online. Unfortunately, I didn't get all of the stuff done in time. Sorry, my phone was ringing. Anyway. What was the question?
So he wants to know what's the recommendation for selection of cup size for metal thickness, etc.
You know what? I used 4 cups. That's all I ever use. Aluminum, I use a number 5 standard, no gas lens. Some people like the gas lens. I like to have it as tight and small as possible. That's the only one I use for aluminum. On steel, I'll use a number 8 gas lens. You can also use that on aluminum, right? Chromoly stainless, I'll use a FUPA 12. And for some stainless and titanium, I use a number 16 BBW cup from Furic. That's the only 4 I use, literally. That's it.
I use the same thing, except I have a 4 instead of a 5 for the aluminum.
Wuss. Let's see.
So the cup size does not really change for your metal thickness. It's more for the type of metal you're welding.
Yes. Okay, that's a do. There's a lot of comments coming in. So yeah, this changed to hey everybody, get your stuff ready to let's just answer a whole lot of questions. If you are just tuning in right now, it's this has been a really interesting stream that we got like literally like 15 grand worth of stuff in here that's not working. So we're shooting off a little tiny webcam. Hopefully we get this solved or situated by Sunday.
All right, so this guy's wanting to film his welds.
You can.
And he wants to know what filter he can put in front of his digital camera.
How expensive is your digital camera?
If you got a decent one, you can dial in the settings and kind of get what you want. But it's going to vary depending on your
settings,
camera and all
Nick?
that stuff.
Can I get some settings?
Yeah, it varies greatly depending on what camera you have and all that stuff. The only filter I would suggest is maybe like an ND filter or something like that. And what that does is it makes it a little bit darker, and that can help it out a little bit too. But there's no like magic filter that makes your camera film welds.
Yeah, I mean, if you got an iPhone, you can literally just click on the weld and it will like darken out or whatever. That's how you see all these guys like on Instagram and stuff like that. They're just shooting through their iPhone.
Are we going to SEMA this year?
I will probably be at SEMA.
I will be at SEMA.
I know that we are doing FabTech, and I will have a booth. Hey, $5 Australian from Digital Demonic Davros. I hope I got that right. I am terrible with names, but here is the Burton C. Bell of approval. Thank you very, very much. Thanks for inspiring email from me back in 2019. I'm doing great. 45-year-old back to my trade, hoping to work on a $45 billion warships in, what is it, Adelaide?
Adelaide.
Yeah, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Dude, that is awesome. I am so glad that I have been able to help out. Thank you very, very much. And, of course, for your $5 donation. I really appreciate that. We're going to probably, if we get another, who knows how many dollars back together again, then we'll take the crew out again. A lot of people didn't realize that we have that many people working here.
All right, so Greg's asking about the prime mode again. Yes, the prime mode would be good for semi-professional use. Like we use it for semi-professional use, and we use it every day.
Yeah, we have students beating on it. Like I can't even begin to describe how many people come in here. I mean, if you don't know how to weld, you're going to abuse the machine. And, that's, before I really stopped doing all these different machine reviews and stuff like that, that's part of the testing is like we throw it in the back into the shop there and let the students run it. Because, I mean, we're running it like 6 days a week for 8 friggin' hours plus a day. And it's getting beat up. And the only ones that survived are the ones that I would do reviews on. That way I could have an actual trusted review of, experience that this is good and this is not. The same prime weld has been just chugging away forever. I mean, I like it so much that I put another one in my house, like in my home garage. I have a prime weld, nothing fancy, just literally that same machine, and it's flawless. But if it does break, I also know that prime weld's customer service is second to absolutely none. It is phenomenal. They just flat out don't mess around, and that's exactly what I want.
We got 2 finger switch questions.
What?
This guy wants to know about a hand-operated amperage control. Which one would you recommend? And then any tips for welding aluminum without a pedal?
Actually, yeah, my tigging with the trigger switch video was done on aluminum. So if you want to just go watch that way I don't have to explain all of it all over again, and you can actually see what I was doing in there. But that's I think that was called TIG welding with a trigger switch or something like that. I think is what the name of the video is. But yeah, you can see how all that goes together. TIG welding, a variable amperage controller, like like a thumb wheel or whatever the case is. You got to play with a handful of them before you can figure out that you like that or you don't like that. So, Fear cup for stainless recommended or overkill? No, I love it.
We had a bunch of people asking about the Lincoln Square Wave.
Oh, the 200?
Yep.
Okay, let me qualify this remark. That is a very, very, very noisy and awkward machine, but there is nothing wrong with it. I'll just put that straight out there. There is nothing wrong with that machine. It has the strangest sounding arc I have ever heard on AC. It sounds like a pulsar, but that's part of its arc restart circuit, which is exclusive to Lincoln. And of course, when Harbor Freight knocked them off, it was exclusive to that machine too. It was like exactly the same. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that machine. The fan on it, I swear to God, they pulled it off on like a transformer unit. So it is the loudest friggin' fan ever out of any machine that we have back there, but nothing wrong with it. It works. It's a little limited, but it works. So yeah, it's a pretty stout machine for like what, $1,500 or whatever it is.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Do you ship to South Africa?
We ship all over the world. Everywhere. Everywhere. Somebody said ring the bell. I will ring the bell for $1. If you want to hear the Burton C. Bell, I've reserved that for the donations. Well, that makes me sound like desperate or something. Yeah. Give me money.
So,
oh, I'm sorry, but that's reserved.
We got quite a few Fronius questions and people singing its praises.
Yes.
I love that machine.
Yeah. I know I got more buttons over here. This is my favorite.
Well, do it live!
I got to cut it off because I don't want to get demonetized. Oh, let's see.
So the Rogue Fab Model 600, thoughts?
Oh, I love that machine.
That's in the back.
Yeah. No, a lot of people didn't know that I sold the JD Squared and I kept the Rogue just because the Rogue is more expandable. In a way, it's kind of a pain in the ass to use because you can't just do like a quick bend. You got to set up the clamp block and stuff like that. And for that, I miss the JD Squared. But when I'm just banging stuff out, like you cannot get more accurate than this machine, than the Rogue Fab. And it, like I said, it's totally expandable. It went from being a weld together kit that you guys saw in a video to being a mandrel bender with a handful of bolts. Like that's all it was. Now all of a sudden I've got a mandrel bender. It's like, damn, that's crazy. Now learning how to use it, that's another story because I screwed up a lot of chromoly.
What is the best first class we offer for first-time welders?
Oh, aluminum steel.
Hands down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the #1 class, the most popular class, the most coverage you're going to get on welding in one class is the 8-hour aluminum steel class. Pretty much everybody takes that. If you're not sure, take the aluminum steel class. I'm going to scroll up a little bit and see if we can find something.
TIG is like brazing with a cutting torch.
What?
That's one of the...
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. Let's see. Oh, evidently JD Squared stopped making the Model 3.
That's a good point. So D bought a Prime mode because of us, and he loves it.
Sweet.
But unfortunately, he couldn't buy skill.
Ah,
And that's a
well,
good
you
point.
got the machine to make the skill now.
Yep. It's all practice.
Hey, you know what? Every single day I'm on like a welding group. Sometimes I'm kind of incognito. I don't really say anything, but I'm on pretty much every single one of them. And, oh, hey, 10 pounds from Andy, 5043. No question, just buy the crew a beer. Thank you very kindly, Andy, 5043. Here is the Burton C. Bell. If you guys don't know, I'm a big metalhead, and Burton C. Bell is the guy from Fear Factory, the lead singer, former lead singer.
Oh, we've got a second one. We're gonna
Hey,
need some
doing
more
a great
Bell.
job for the guys in the crew. Well done. Thank you very much, GMC ALLs SUK. Thank you guys so much. That is really awesome. 10 pounds from GMC ALLs UK. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Here's one more. Just because I like hearing Burton. Should do this more often with the soundboard.
Yeah.
We'll do it live.
What was I talking about before the donations came in?
Practice and
practice. Yes, thank you. Okay, so I see all these people. They're always posting up pictures, and it's literally like, I just started welding like 5 minutes ago. What am I doing wrong? It's because you just started 5 minutes ago. I mean,
It takes a lot longer than that.
if you started 5 months ago, you might ask what you're doing wrong, but nobody ever wants to hear my 9 times out of 10 response, which is you need to practice. There is nothing you can put into that machine that's going to make it weld. It does not exist. So, yeah, just put your friggin' helmet down and practice. And I got that really awesome 40-some-odd minute video. What was the name of that video? Oh, crud. I'm trying to, I got to find it now. I just put it up, too. What, a few days ago. Last week or whatever it was, I just put the damn thing up. But now my stuff doesn't want to go fast. Anyway, it's like your very first aluminum TIG welds video. It's like 43 minutes long or whatever the case is. Go watch that video because that's literally everything right there in front of you. Oh, the Mr. Miyagi of welding. I'm tickled every time I hear that. Thank you. I've got some really interesting names. Some of them I can't really say. And of course, everybody always remarks on my voice.
So I'm not going to attempt to pronounce this name, but it's asking about the Furic Cup for stainless. Recommend or overkill?
I already covered that one.
Yeah, number 12. You'll be fine.
Oh, hey. 39.99 ZAR from South Africa. Thank you very, very much. You get the Burton C. Bell of approval.
So does practice still work on a crappy welder?
Yeah. Actually, if you learn how to deal with a crappy welder, well, actually, here's the thing. You can put somebody with no experience on a $10,000 welder plus,
And they're
and
still
it's
going to
going to
be
weld
bad.
like crap.
Yep.
There's no way around it.
But you put a professional on a crappier machine, he's still probably going to be able to make it work unless the machine's just broken.
We've had a couple of crappy ones here, and we get mixed results. But I mean, with enough skill or practice, you kind of learn to work around that. And that's just how it works. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Oh, you know what? That's going to probably get me demonetized. I know. I see this question about what I can weld on a snowman. I'm going to have to keep that hidden just because I don't want to get demonetized.
Yes, this guy brings up a good point. Read the manual for your machine. A lot of times there's some pretty good setup tips in that. Never hurts to read and learn more.
$2 Australian from Digital Demonic. What is this? Davros?
Yeah.
Davros. How do you learn? Practice. Mistake, or make a mistake. Practice. That's effectively how it works. And the Burton C. Bell agrees.
40-43 or 53-56?
Take your pick. We tend to use a lot of 40-43 here. It's just, that's the way it works. That's what we do. You can use 53-56. But generally speaking, you're going to use 40-43 for virtually everything. 53-56 is for stuff that you would anodize. That's the bare bones general, that's what they say. Yeah, then there's 49, 43, 46, 40, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. Mutiny Fab, $19.99. Thank you.
What do you like to do in your spare
DJ
time?
voice on.
So what do we like to do in our spare time apart from welding?
I ride.
What is spare time?
I vroom. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah.
I bought my dirt bike a while ago, and I've put 700 miles on it.
Damn.
So barely anything. We don't have free time.
I've got to put a few hours on mine. Yeah, I tend to like to try and ride as much as possible, or hang out with the fam, or just chill. There's really when you start running a business, there's no such thing as free time. It just doesn't exist. So especially when people have to depend on you for things that they have to do, like eat, feed their family, pay their bills, stuff like that. You got to make sure that you are doing your job so that they have a job, and that the what you give up is all the free time. Have I ever screwed up a job that cost me a lot of money? You bet. You bet.
I lost $1,500 on one job one time, real quick.
Oh, I'm
one
trying
little
to
mistake.
My last one. There's been some cars that I've worked on where, oh yeah, you know what, that GTR. I did an exhaust on a GTR and something wasn't set up right in the shop, and something fell on it, scratched the crap out of it, and it was bad.
Oh, that level fell off the
Yeah,
lift.
the level fell off. That's right. Yeah, I basically didn't make any money on that by the time I got it fixed. So yeah, there's a lot. Join the club. I ride as well. Hey, you know what, Neil? There's something that we don't see here in the States very often that I have started doing, which is riding moto trials. And I actually have a Sherco 2.9. I got a great deal on it, but they're very, very rare here, and there's not really a whole lot of places to ride trials. But you guys do a lot up there. I know that for sure. All the videos I watch. And I suck at it. I sent that thing off a 30-foot cliff. And I followed it down. Nick and I were out riding behind his place. He's got a nice open desert, some great hills. So I'm just out there farting around on it, trying to get comfortable. And the power band on a trials bike is totally different than anything else. So I'm going up this friggin' lip, and I don't know, about a third, maybe half the way up, I'm out. There's nothing left unless I shift, which you can't do because it's like this far away from front of your foot. So I'm like, well, going as far as I can. I get up to the very edge of this cliff, and it's like, okay, I'll save me, send the bike, and then I throw the bike, and then I go right over with it. When sliding down to the bottom of it, here comes Nick. You all right? That's funny. How do you contribute? Well, if you mean how do you get Burton C. Bell to give you approval, there's usually a button right underneath the screen that says, what does it say?
Yeah, my screen's a little S, the little money symbol.
Yeah, should be a little money symbol somewhere in there. To tell you the truth, I don't even know. The first time I ever got a super chat was the last time I went live when we were at 400K. Dude, we've been on for an hour and 7 here. So if you're just joining us, this is officially your last call to get anything from Weld Metals Online if you're going to join us for Weld With Me Live, which is coming up Sunday. So you still have time if you don't dilly-dally. And yes, the crew is really kicking ass. You pretty much got, I don't know, about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half to get your order in if you want it to get out today, which means it should be there in time. So
Appliance Guy says he needs reading glasses. What hood would you recommend? I would just recommend wearing your reading glasses or whatever glasses allow you to see in your hood.
That's a good point. I get a lot of questions actually about comfortable, like what is comfortable or what gloves are comfortable, what hood is comfortable, what seat is comfortable, what welding jacket is comfortable. What do you think is comfortable? That's really what it is. Hey, how can I see this better? Well, put something on and try it until, you can see it correctly. And that's pretty much it. There's nobody that can tell you what comfortable is or whatever the case is, right? Because, like the gloves that I like, I know Nick hates.
Yeah, I hate those gloves so much. And I actually, I like the Harbor Freight TIG gloves. They're cheap.
There you go.
And they're not all that reliable, but they're comfortable.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yours are terrible. They're so
I love
thick, and
mine.
you
What are you
can't.
talking? No.
You can't move in them.
You can move in them. You move the fingers that are important to move.
Yeah, the results are what matters.
Yes.
You get good welds with your gloves. I get good welds with my gloves.
Mine are more better. I'm sorry, I don't really know much about super chats, but if it says that there's no dollar sign or in there or anything else like that, I don't know. Maybe make the screen vertical. I mean, if you can. I unfortunately don't know enough about super chat.
Is there any channels you enjoy on YouTube?
Yeah.
This old Tony.
Oh yeah, this old Tony. I've been watching him for a long time. Geez, before he even had 100,000 subs, I was watching this old Tony, and then he blew up. Like, I am so glad for that guy. Like, I always enjoyed his humor, his jokes, everything else like that. See, Fort9, God, I love his style.
Yeah,
Ryan at
really
Fort9, dude. I mean, or actually, it's him, and I think the guy's name is Anush. But yeah, it's a motorcycle channel. I watch it constantly. Typical vloggers and stuff. I don't remember.
CinemaSins.
Oh, CinemaSins. I need a Burton without the ha. Yeah, CinemaSins is great. I don't know where they come up with half of that stuff, but it's so freaking fun. Well, yeah, but there's a handful of channels. I mean, yeah, I watch Cletus and a bunch of the other ones, or as many as I can stand. Who's the other one that I don't remember. I just subscribed to another one recently. A lot of creative talent, I guess you could say, that I watch. Guys that just do some absolutely phenomenal stuff that I can only dream of. And it's just some of them are educative, something like that. So. Okay, C4 MP of Norath. I think it's Champ of Norath. Thank you for your $10. What tube bender do you advise as a first bender for a home hobbyist? Well, I have used several in the past, and I was just made aware a little bit ago that I guess JD Squared discontinued the Model 3. But I use a Rogue Fab. I did the build it yourself or stick it together yourself kit. You need air to run it, but it's one of my favorite benders. It's actually the only one I have now. So,
So Idiom wants to know if we only TIG weld or can we MIG and stick as well?
I am okay at stick.
I'm actually certified in stick.
I am not. I am certified MIG, and I am certified in several TIG. I am not stick certified. I was a field mechanic. I was a heavy equipment mechanic. And, of course, obviously all I ever did was just drive around in my service truck and fix stuff. So we have two options. They are 7018 and 6010.
I can MIG, TIG, stick, and JB weld.
All right. I can oxy sometimes.
I haven't tried that one yet.
I haven't done it in years. Oh, let's see. 11 green lens with the inner shield. Okay, cool. Let's see. If you're worried about comfort, haven't done enough positional welding. I don't know. Oh, you know what? That almost reminds me. Let me explain something to you about some people. Right. I get this all the time, and I wish I'm not going to entertain these people in the comments when they do this or they say this crap, but I get constantly comments where people are like, oh yeah, why don't you learn how to really weld like out in the field and all this other crap, welding coupons on a bench is for like bitches or something. It's stupid. All that stupid garbage that just spews out of these people's mouths. Don't ever fall for that. If you're one of those guys that are like, oh yeah, well I'm sitting at a table welding coupons. Well, they weren't blessed in the field or born in the field with a friggin' welder in their hands running on pipe. They all started on coupons. So if you ever see something like that or you see anybody like beating you down like that, just ignore that crap. I wanted to throw that out there because it came into my mind, but I was going to make a video, but that's feeding trolls. So anyway. Let's see. Cutting Edge Engineering channel has heavy equipment mechanic. Oh yeah, I have seen several of videos from Cutting Edge. Pretty cool stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of time to watch a lot of videos, so that's the other one. Like if I take a lunch break, I'll watch a video, or a lot of people send me a lot of videos. Of course, our affiliates with Weld Metals, they have a lot of videos, and I like assisting where I can, get them a few bucks too.
I want to get rid of that.
Mm-hmm. I just saw
He's doing a lot of that.
Where the hell did that go? Oh, jeez. And another hide. Peace.
Yeah, he had like 5 or 6 of them in there.
Yeah, well, you're gone. Yeah, we're not going to try and demonetize me. Sorry. Are we winding down now?
Do you use handheld tungsten grinders? Sometimes.
Yeah, we've got one.
I use a lot of everything.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, straight up, if it makes a pointy thing, shape, if it makes a pointy shape, use it.
Like you can use the tungsten sharpener, you can use a bench grinder, a belt sander, a disc sander, a angle grinder, pretty much anything that spins and is abrasive.
Diamond wheel. Literally, yeah. If it spins and it sharpens and makes the pointy end, then that's all you need. Try not to overcomplicate it. I mean, literally. Mobile welding rig, lots of burns. Hey, yeah, fellow field mechanic. You know what? In a way, I miss that. I really, really miss it because I'm not going to lie. The bigger the equipment was, this is the strangest thing. The bigger the equipment was, the easier it is to work on because all you're reduced to is loosening nuts and bolts. And 9 times out of 10, the bigger it is, the bigger machine you need to loosen the nuts and bolts. So you literally just sit there with a joystick and a crane being like, there you go. Sometimes you got to actually work, but, you know. You're rebuilding a hydraulic cylinder on a friggin' dozer or something like that. No, your crane is pulling that crap off of there. You take a little tiny bolt out, which would be like a 1-inch bolt. And then that drives a pin out, as long as the pin wants to come out. And then after that, it's the crane. Yeah. You get all the machines to do everything. It was so fun.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh, I was going to go for that one for you. Geez, I don't know.
South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, and Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, so how old are you?
About 15.
Shawshank's legit, though. I can watch that every time it comes on. You that smooth Morgan Freeman friggin', there must be a con like me in every prison in America. Yeah, Shawshank's good. I don't know. I have so many of them that I just go to. I'll just click it on and be like, oh, yeah, I love this movie. And then I watch another one and be like, oh, I love this movie.
Any advice for a CWI trying to get a job?
Keep trying. Starting my own company and subcontracting. Oh, without having to start your own company and subcontracting. No. Just Idiocracy. That's another one.
That's a fantastic one.
Yeah. I like money. You know what? If we ever do this again, I'm going to load that up onto the soundboard when somebody does a super chat. Be like, I like money. Actually, I just watched Idiocracy the other day. Okay, so let's see, recently got CWI. Any tips on getting a CWI position without having to start my own company or end for subcontracting? Unfortunately, you just have to start pounding the pavement and look around. But you know what? You could also be a welder that is capable of CWI, and that gets you in the door, and that does other things, and you know, it's a nice little tick on the resume. So that way you don't have to hold out for just being a CWI. Go out and weld.
So this guy's their son needs to take one of our classes. What's the best day and time to do that?
Any day that the calendar says it's available.
Monday through Saturday.
Yep, we run 6 days a week. So as long as the calendar says you can book it, you can book it. And if your son is under the age of 18, you have to be present the entire day with him. Oh, a lot of videos that say you need to ball your tungsten for Allie. What's your thoughts? I made, actually, here we go.
His favorite video.
My favorite video that I have ever made on this entire channel of all of the ones that I've produced. Before I get into that, Falcon 2000 LX, $10. Thank you very, very much. The Burton C. Bell of approval. Much appreciated. Okay, so my favorite video that I've ever made was do we or do we not ball the tungsten? Yeah, it's called Do We Ball the Tungsten Anymore? And it's a complete history lesson of why we did what we did with it, you know, how we did it, reasons why. I mean, so much stuff that went into it. It's only like a 8 or 9 or 10 minute video or something like that. But the short answer, no, we don't ball the tungsten unless you have to. And the long answer is there's virtually no reason for it. And if you want to hear the entire lesson, you have to book a class because I get very deep into it.
Very detailed.
Is the tube chassis truck build dead, or will I ever get back to it? It is not dead. It is just sitting there, like I've mentioned several times, over and over and over again. I have a company that I have to take care of here, and I have employees, and that supersedes any kind of builds or anything that I have. So the tube chassis truck is still back there. There was some progress on it, including the other vehicle that I was building that I hadn't revealed. And they're there, but I don't have the time to weld them. I don't have the time to work on them. And if you've watched any other YouTube channels recently, you will see the hypercar, supercar. Would you call it a hypercar?
Yes.
Yeah. You would see the purple hypercar that's sitting in my other shop waiting to get twin turboed right now. But you got to find the other channel before I announce it here. I also put it up on social media recently, Instagram and Facebook. But, you know, this is the stuff that I have to do. It's pretty crazy. So my own personal projects, including turboing my motorcycle. My turbo is literally sitting in the lobby. So all of that stuff, yeah, it's all put on hold. I got to take care of the company.
Yes, we have welded brass.
No, we do not like it.
No, we do not like it. That's kind of fun.
Let's see, how far can you go with MIG? Till it runs out of wire?
Yeah. I'd say
Depending on the size of the spool?
maybe quarter mile.
Yeah, that's a smart-ass answer. I'm sorry, but I don't understand what you mean. So, any suggestions on developing my radio voice like yours?
I would like to hear this one.
What?
Your answer to that one.
I do not have any advice. No. You could always try. I mean, my actual like radio. This is my natural voice. This is the strange thing that not a lot of people know. In my videos, my voice and how I actually talk is a little bit higher, and this is the way that I usually speak when I'm on a video. And literally, that's how it comes out. But like, this is my actual natural raspy, nasty voice. That if I get way too loud on, I shout or whatever the case is, it distorts mics and blows stuff up. I mean, it's pretty crazy. You can hear me from miles away. But when I get on the camera, this is the way I sound. And I don't know how I do that. I just kind of do it naturally. And yeah, I joke around sometimes, just being like, everybody says I usually get a stripper DJ voice. Please welcome to the stage, Nick.
Well, at least one guy would like to see you do some stuff with bikes.
What?
So Peter would like to see you do some stuff with bikes.
Oh yeah. Well, when I get time, I would love to do some bike stuff. There's talk about me doing a second channel. Some of you guys know I recently purchased a Viper, a 2014 Viper. That was my, stuff we're gonna do for the channel when I get some time. Stuff to build on, But I'm not a car vlogger. So every time I've tried to do something like that, this channel, like that video, just everybody's like, I didn't learn a thing. So I don't do a lot of that. There's talk about doing a second channel where we could kind of explore the lifestyle of the fabrication industry, if you will.
So Andy wants to know more about season 6. If you're going to do basic home garage
basic
setup.
home garage stuff, I have done videos in there. I have not created them. I have not edited them, and all the rest of the stuff. Let's see. Radio voice is created by turning up the lows on the audio and having an expensive microphone. Well,
not in his case.
No, not in my case. I wonder if I can tweak mine. Hold on a minute. I'm going to play with my mic here. Nick, do something.
Yeah, he sounds like this in person. I do not sound quite like this in person. This is making me sound a little bit better than normal.
If I filter this out for the high side, then no, this is my natural voice. They're all of the settings. Hey, what are your mic settings, Nick?
Whatever you put in there.
No, I softened you up a little bit. I put some balls on your mic.
I need all that bass.
No, sorry. This is my real voice.
Yep.
And it scares children sometimes. Yeah, sound of the quality of the microphone, and that makes it. The quality just brings out the clarity. So when I decide I want to talk like this in a video, why are we going to bring out my voice?
That mini truck is so popular.
Well, I know. Mini truck. Yeah, right. So, yeah, I don't know. We're getting off topic here. Let's see. What's your favorite non-welding use for MIG wire? I hang stuff, parts on it to paint.
TIG welding.
Yeah, you could. Well, I mean, yeah, you could. I don't use much smaller than 035, though. So I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through some more comments
There's
in here.
so many.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that people are still watching right now. This is crazy. And it's a very special thank you to all of you who have tossed in on the super chat and everything else like that. We're definitely going to, maybe we'll buy some pizza for the crew. Because whatever I get out of this one is a percentage of what you guys gave or whatever. But yeah, we'll take the crew out. And another huge shout out to the crew. I mean, a lot of you guys don't know. You might have seen it in the most recent video that nobody wanted to watch, which was me taking the crew out. Because the last time I was on Super Chat, we got like $200. And I promised that we would take the crew out, and we did that. And so many people were surprised to find out we have that many employees. And actually, like 2 or 3 of them weren't even there. So, sorry, I'm going to answer this text.
Let's see.
Nick, you're causing dead air.
So this guy says he uses a cheater lens. Yes, cheater lens is something I use. It's something you can use. It just kind of magnifies what you're seeing. It can help if you're doing real fine work. I have 20/20 vision, and I still use that cheater lens. You do have to move your head around to get your kind of focal distance where it should be, but once you figure it out, it's nice to have.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
It's because you don't move your head around.
I don't like it. I mean, maybe one of these days I'll probably need it when I get as old as you.
Next year.
Do you sell TFS stickers? I don't actually sell them online or whatever. I usually just give them away when people show up here or when you see me in person. I
believe I gave the last one away the other day.
Did you? Why'd you do that?
There's one on the cart.
Oh, the actual life-size patch one. That's the special one. But yeah, sometimes we get them. Oh, if you buy a T-shirt from the FabricatorSeries.com website, any one of the T-shirts that I have up there, I always throw in a TFS sticker.
I've been in Vegas for about 8 years.
Dude, why is this? Okay, I can see why this has been questionable and monetized. Okay, I'm going to read this comment. MIG wire is best used for hanging your wife's pictures on the wall. YouTube hid that because probably says hanging your wife's.
Yeah.
I use MIG wire for hanging my wife's. I will show that comment. That's kind of funny.
I'm not sure if he hit that van left-handed either. I didn't hear that. I did not hear the ding.
I did. Who said that?
I didn't hear it. David.
Who's David? I did hit that van. Thank you very much.
I went right through the window of that van.
I didn't hear that. Do we ship to the UK? I certainly do. Have you ever worked on supercars and exotic cars? All the time.
We just got done with the Ford GT not too long ago.
Yeah, earlier this year I did the Ford GT. That video I'm still trying to edit. I wish I could show it to you guys right here because I totally would, but all of our equipment is not working correctly. So
before that, there was a GTR.
Yeah, GTRs, Lambos. Yeah, I mean just about everything. So we recently updated a twin turbo Ford GT. Let's see, we're an hour and a half into this thing, and, well, people are starting to die off. So I can tell you flat out, there is a Koenigsegg CCX in the other shop that I have to twin turbo. I just recently bought a Viper, and I'm sure there's more cars that are still coming in and stuff like that. Is Nick on Instagram? Yeah, but who wants to see that? Can I send shirts to the UK? I can. I don't know if the shipping is going to work right. I think it's like $26 or something like that for me to ship to the UK. But if you want to email me beforehand, I will get an actual quote for you and let you know what I can do. What is the difference between 2T and 4T? I have a video all about that. I say it straight. Go all through it. Yeah, y'all people didn't saying you didn't hear the noise when I hit that van. I hit that van. So big shout outs to the crew here at TFS. Thank you guys very, very much. I know that they appreciate it. So if I could weld one thing for the rest of my life, what would it be? Actually, Nick?
Aluminum.
Yeah. Was that your answer or would that be? I know
that's my answer too. Before I used to say stainless a lot, but now it's aluminum.
Yeah.
Aluminum's just the best.
I love that metal. That is my jam. Let's see. Oh, if there is a price calculator on the website, that's awesome. So yeah, and again, you can email me. I can try to get a better quote, because sometimes that thing shoots for the moon. So, yeah. Let's see. Best tungsten for aluminum prime weld. Hey, rewind this video I don't know. We use laser tungsten. This is from CK Worldwide. It is chartreuse in color, LAYZR. It's used on every single machine for every single metal that was ever made. It's the best of the best of the best. That's why I use it. That's why I sell it. That's all I do.
The last one's good.
I will get to that. Can somebody barter video editing for me in exchange for a welding class? No. Short answer, no. There is a style to my videos that I've tried to hire people to get really, really close, and some of them are pretty good, and some of them not so much. And when it comes to my content, I kind of like to keep it my way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, no, if you want to book a welding class, we are here 6 days a week, and you can definitely go from there. What is the crappiest car you've ever worked on? That is a hidden comment, but hey, we can have that. Actually, it doesn't say.
Chrysler Sebring.
Yeah.
PT Cruiser. 90s Chryslers.
I think the crappiest car I've ever done was a Yugo. I tried to do a water pump on that thing. It took me a month just to find a timing belt for it.
The G-Wagon wasn't very much fun either.
Oh, if you could work on anything at all, space rockets, diving bells, whatever, what would you love to have a go at?
Definitely spacecraft.
Yeah. Anything that's historical, a piece of history. Anything significant, I don't know. I auditioned for a show that unfortunately didn't get picked up. It was like the end of the reality show days. But it was all about me traveling the country and fixing very significant or important pieces of history, effectively.
Like the Liberty Bell?
Yeah.
That could be great.
Weld the shit out of that. Sorry. No, it's anything that's like a serious historical significance or something that means something. I can tell you flat out, there is a very popular Bugatti that went into a pretty popular river or flood bay about 10 years ago, and I got to weld a part on that car. Unfortunately, it did not get used, but that felt really cool to me because that's like the world's most popular Bugatti, and I got to actually fix a part on it, and it involved my skill. That was significant. That was really cool, but it didn't get used. So, can you TIG weld galvanized pipe? I'm going to attack this one straight on. The short answer, yes. The long answer, no. And should you? Absolutely not. Galvanizing contains zinc. Zinc outgasses somewhere around 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which means it goes poof. And of course, the stuff that goes poof is really bad for you. Like, it can kill you.
This is not good.
And I'm pretty sure that's why this other message that's held for review is a response to that. So, but I have to keep that hidden. So, yeah, welding galvanized pipe, that can kill you. So don't do it unless you completely remove all the galvanizing and then still wear a respirator. You have to remove the galvanizing.
Yes, we have used the Miller Multimatic in class, usually our Big 3 class.
Yeah, we have it. The pedal has an issue right now, which I have to solve. But yeah, the Millermatic 220 is the only AC/DC multi-process welder I approve. And I have run every stinking one of them. So the Multimatic 220 is the only one I recommend.
Yeah, the Ford Transit is the worst vehicle I've ever driven in my life.
Didn't you say that one's the hallway? That's
yeah, it's like driving a hallway. It's awful.
So, yeah. Let's see, starting in welding in the evening course tomorrow night, do CAD for a living. Thought it'd be cool to know some more things about the welder's perspective. That is good on you, Mr. David 1977M. It's diversity. That's really what it boils down to. So, yeah, you can be the engineer, but if you don't really know how it's done, you're going to be a crappy engineer. So if you actually look into it, learn it, and do some stuff, you will be a much better engineer, and you will not have as many people mad at you.
Yes.
So I think that's really what made me really excel on the engineering side of my career, was knowing how this stuff is already done. So I think about it, like future serviceability is my number one thing that I always think about, right? Somebody's building a chassis, but you can't get the alternator out.
Yeah.
It's pretty dumb. And I've done that. I've worked on cars that were done like that. And I'm like, well, how do alternator's busted. Like, how do we get it out? Oh, you got to drop the engine. I'm like, what?
Yeah. When I work on cars, a lot of my time is spent swearing at engineers. Why would you do that? So colors in your welds. So you don't want to go with aesthetic, good-looking weld. You want to go with a good weld. And if it happens to look good, great. That's what you want. Don't go for any particular look or colors or anything like that. You want a good weld.
Good answer.
You suck!
Oops.
You suck!
Oh, okay. I missed the bell. Yeah. I made a video about that, the TIG settings video. But how important is it to get colors? I mean, theoretically, you're not supposed to have any color, but in the automotive performance and fabrication industry, we intentionally put color in there because if we don't do it, the exhaust is going to do it. Or people just like to see their rainbows. The color does not define a weld. We'll just put it that way. Like, a weld is not bad because it has color. A weld is not good because it has color. It is very indifferent.
So I'm going to go with 1 horse-sized duck just because I want to see that.
What was that?
So 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. But okay. So once and finally saying again, this is the last call. Literally, mail is going to get picked up in about an hour and a half. So if you are joining us for Weld With Me Live, coming up on Sunday, the interactive free welding class. And if you choose to get your metal from Weld Metals Online, you need to order it right now. Like I would say, jump off this stream and order your aluminum TIG welding starter kit. There's like 50 people that have done that already. So it should get to you in time. If you decide to wait, well, bummer. Hope you find a way to do it anyway.
So I've asked this question myself. How did I make the first lathe without a lathe?
Good question. I still wonder who took the first photograph of a camera. Photographing the first camera. This is the world's first camera.
How did you make
who did that?
How did you make the crucible for melting metal?
That would have been carved out of stone. Yeah, that would have been stone. Betcha.
Let's see.
Oh man, you can go into that for like ever and ever and ever. So
good. A couple people asking about drafting software and stuff like that. I don't know anything about it.
Right. So if you want to do 2D stuff and you want probably the best and easiest, that's really awesome. Hypertherm recently came out with their ProNest software, and it also comes with LibreCAD. And some people like it, some people don't. But for 2D simple stuff, for like plasma cutting and stuff like that, really awesome. I have toyed with Fusion 360. I can't stand it. It frustrates the everlasting crap out of me. SolidWorks is pretty dope. I use Mastercam, which everybody hates, but I went to school for that, so that's why I know it. But you got to decide what it is that you want. But I mean, just go take a class. Like, you can go take night classes on stuff like this, and you'll learn so much faster with a lot less frustration when you're being shown how to do something, instead of the alternative, which is like looking for a YouTube video if somebody has it, and then you probably don't understand that they're not going to be able to tell you how to draw your very specific part in that video. They teach you the navigation of it and how to work it and stuff like that. So, that's where a lot of people's frustrations come from when it comes to working on this. So just literally go take a class. Like, there's got to be like a night class somewhere or somebody you can connect with to show you how to work the thing. So, but then again, Hypertherm's ProNest software is really awesome. It has an estimator in there. You just be like, oh yeah, this many parts are going into it out of this metal. You cut it and it should cost you this much if the metal costs that much. It depends on how you want to do it though. Anyway.
Have you ever messed with stainless steel chain welding it?
No. You?
I've done 2 links.
Like chainmail?
No.
Like an actual chain.
I welded 2 links together, and it was just like welding any other stainless. Are you sure it's actually stainless? It could be a mystery metal or something else, galvanized, polished, something like that, where it's got something else mixed with it.
Bright zinc. Yeah, if there's stuff on there that goes poof and it smells funny and it makes your stomach hurt and it feels like you just ate a bunch of chalk, that is galvanized. Excuse me. Okay, how critical is it to purge pipe or tube that doesn't get very hot, like a cold air intake? Well, do you want it to hold or do you not want it to hold? That is the question. Hey, look, I mean, you if you cheat a job, you're only cheating yourself. You want to be the best, do the best.
And yes, the CK parts for the 17 torch will fit the AHP 17 torch.
Yes. A 17 is a 17, a 9 is a 9. They all actually 17 swap out with 9s. So, yes, you can put a legit CK torch, flex head, or whatever size on your AHP line, or you can just buy the whole thing. And shameless plug, go to weldmetalsonline.com and use TFS10 for at checkout for savings. There's the radio voice. Yeah, over on Weld Metals, they actually sell the CK head and handle as well as the plug-and-play complete torch assembly. You can get it there. Use discount code TFS10. Thank you. What was that Guar song where he's like, I said turn it down? Thank you.
Have you ever welded Chinesium?
Yeah, I got a video on that. I didn't call it Chinesium. I call it mystery metal. So
I wasted a whole day on that stuff.
use solar flux and titanium. You cannot. It does not work. Do not do it. Okay. I think we're slowly starting to wind down here. We've been on for an hour and 40 minutes.
It's getting warm in here too.
Yeah, I am starting to. I'm getting glossy. Look at the lighting from this terribly bad camera and the other ones that don't friggin' work. Or they work. I bet you they're frozen right now, but they work, but they don't really work. Dude, when I rewind this or when I post this up again afterwards, I'm gonna have a ball just watching and going through all the comments and stuff like that again. So, yeah, it looks like we're winding down here. So I think we're gonna call that one. I got to get some air. It's a little cramped and crowded in my office here. Very special thank you to all of you guys, everybody who have been through in the super chats here. Was it Bordeaux, Fab, Digital Demonic, Davros, Andy 5043, GMC, Alls UK, or All Suck, or whatever. Excuse me, HAD, Jagger, Jaeger, I'm not sure which way that is. Again, Digital Demonic, Davros. Mutiny Fab, and there's a couple more that I'm probably missing on here. There we go. Champ of Nora, thank you all for your donations. Have an extra Burton C. Bell on me. And to everybody who has tuned in, I thank you very, very much. That is friggin' awesome that we have all this support. Special thanks to Nick for actually being on camera and revealing his real voice.
Sorry about
that trolley guy in all my videos. And a big shout out to all of the crew here at TFS. If you have not, for the last time, if you have not picked up your metal for Weld With Me Live, that is the aluminum TIG starter kit from Weld Metals Online. If you have not picked it up yet, you need to get on it now because literally the post office truck is going to pull up like any minute now. And so is UPS. So just make sure you get your metal. Join us this Sunday at noon o'clock for Weld With Me Live. The link will go live soon or public, so that way you guys can join in and all the rest of that good stuff. So that is going to be it for us. Thank you guys very, very much.